Now that we have the motor plate installed, welded, and ready to go, we're gonna wait for it to cool down, and then we will look at mounting the motor itself. I think I have the correct hardware. I don't know yet. I have hardware, just not the right stuff. For now, we are going to jump to the front axle. Put that in quotation marks. It's not really an axle. We're actually just welding to another piece of steel for the spindles to mount to. So I've got that set up, I believe, and ready to go. So we're gonna take a look at that, make sure it's all good and ready. And we'll weld that in place, weld the spindle brackets on, and we can assemble the spindles. Wow, this is all cool. All right, so now when you go to mount your spindles, you should probably be smarter than me and actually look at your wheel size and measure where this fake axle needs to be. When setting up mine, I realize now that I have to be just about level with the bottom. So the wheels sit very close to the same height. So I'm gonna clamp a plate underneath so this just sits flat on it. And then I will go ahead and get to tacking these together, making sure everything looks good. And then I'll finally weld it all. Now that I've got my seat brackets cut, I can actually set my seat somewhat in place. I still got to weld them on real quick, but we're just going to test fit it and see how it looks. Should sit about like that when it's actually in the cart and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and weld those real quick, and then I'll be welding a set of these similar on the rear, and then we should be able to actually bolt this guy down. I'm not going to bolt it today though, I don't think, just because I know I'm going to have to take everything off and paint it and whatever. So we're just going to get it set and ready to go. All right, now that we have all of our seat tabs, or seat brackets, whatever you want to call them, welded in place and ready to go, gotta let these cool a little bit more. They're still really hot because I just did finish welding it. We will be able to set the seat in place. I do gotta drill some holes, and then that would be for all the mounting hardware. All right, guys, now that we have everything somewhat complete, we're gonna go ahead and start working on the seat. Now I've already installed all my mounting brackets. Those are right here for now. It's kind of locked in place. I can't really move it since I welded it all. I already pre-drilled all of my holes, so I can just go ahead and set my seat on top. Now I'm gonna install these rubber washers behind it, kind of like this, so it gives a little bit of flex to the seat. It ain't gonna be much, it's gonna be a little bit. And to do that, I'm gonna have to drill 1/4-inch holes through my seat, but I want the seat set in place before I start drilling my holes so I know where everything's gonna line up. Now that we've drilled our holes for a seat, you can see there, you might be able to see it, I don't know. Holes are in there. We're going to bolt this down and in place. Bolt one. So we have the seat fully mounted and bolted in place. I did end up moving it. It was sitting a little bit farther forward actually. For reference, the middle of the seat here was approximately, I don't know, maybe 1 inch away from the steering post right here. That was way too close. It was very hard to get into the actual cart itself, and I just didn't like it. So we slid that back, I'd say, I think we did 4 inches, and that made a world of difference. Makes it so much better now.